Welcome to another episode of Football Scientific with me, Aaron Sauter. I'm a writer for FootballAnalysis1.com. I cover the Cincinnati Bengals, and I also cover the Hamilton Tower Cats and the CFL on CFL News Hub. On Football Scientific, we also talk about the UFL, the NFL, of course, the IFL, the NAL, and the ELF, the European League of Football. Today, there's not a lot of football news today, but what we do have is pretty hard-hitting. But it's not a ton of information. This should be a pretty quick video. We're coming up on a huge weekend of spring football, though, where we have IFL games, 5 of those. We have 4 NAL games. We have 4 UFL games, and we have 4 CFL preseason games. So it's going to be a pretty crazy weekend. On FootballAnalysis1.com, I wrote an article the last 3 days about the Bengals and about linebackers and edge rushers and all kinds of fun things. Check that out. And also today I wrote an article about the newest signee of the Hamilton Tower Cats, running back Kalen Griffin from Lamar University. Okay, joining me today is my co-host, Tyler the Tiger. Hey everybody, I'm Tyler the Tiger. Let's get this going. Let's talk about football. Let's go, Football Scientific. I am hype. Whoop, 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 whoop. Alright, hey, getting a little weird, Tyler. Okay, stop it. Okay, alright. So first, yesterday we reported on the NFL owners meeting and some things being voted on, including trying to ban the Tush Push and trying to change the playoff format. Well, some things came about from that today, okay? So first, the Detroit Lions, they were trying to change the playoff structure. They're soft because they're soft and they want to change the playoff structure so they don't have to face the Washington Commanders. They're soft. They're soft. That's right, Tyler. Well, they're so soft. They're soft. As the Detroit Lions bailed before the vote, they decided to withdraw their playoff reseeding proposal, knowing that they are soft. That's right. Okay, also, the Green Bay Packers decided they want to ban the Tush Push. They went for a vote. You need to get 24 out of 32 owners to vote for anything like that to ban something in the NFL. They voted today, and they came up 2 votes short. 2 votes short? Yeah, 2 votes short. 22-10 was the vote. They came up 2 votes short of 2 votes short against 75%, and banning the Tush Push place so it stays for another season. And the really ironic thing is, when the Eagles beat the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs today, they beat them 22-10. I know they beat them 22-10 again. Not quite the same, but similar. Why did Packers try to ban the Tush Push? Because they're soft. Yeah, that's right. Now, 22 teams did vote to ban the Tush Push. 10 did not. So what I'm going to say, I'm going to reach out. Football Scientific is reaching out to the 22 teams that need to know how to shut down a wedge play. That is one of my specialties, okay? I understand how to shut down wedge plays. Did it this year multiple times. Ran a wedge play for a long time. Know how to shut down the wedge play, which is all Tush Push is. It's a wedge play with a little extra boost. So I can teach you how to shut that down. Call me up, $5,000 a day. I'll come to your facility and teach your players how to shut down the wedge play, the Tush Push. Okay, that's how the Tush Pushes were created by a rugby guy coming in and teaching the Eagles how to run it. Okay, but I can teach you how to defeat it. I can teach all 22 teams how to defeat it, making the ruling, irrelevant. Okay, because I can show you how to beat that play instantly. Okay, got it? So check that out, NFL guys. I'm a football coach. I know what I'm talking about. I'm an expert in this field, and I can stop the wedge play. The Tush Push would be gone. Okay, next, Hard Knocks announced that they'll be covering a few teams. So HBO Hard Knocks that are going to, in training camp, are going to cover the Buffalo Bills. Go Bills. Let's go Buffalo. Woo. I don't have any characters. I got a helmet over there, but how many characters? Not handy. Okay. And then in season, they're going to cover the NFC East, the Commanders, Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants. Okay. LA Chargers, former Steelers running back Najee Harris. He signed with, during the offseason, he signed with the LA Chargers. But it sounds like he's just going to be there for a year or so. He's on a 1-year prove-it contract. He's got to prove he belongs there. But they have to prove that he, should stay there. So, it's a prove-it contract both ways. Najee Harris saying, I think I'm going to leave after 1 year. I don't know where I'm going to go. which is early in the year to say that. They haven't done OTAs yet, so whatever. Okay, Seattle Seahawks, they officially signed rookie quarterback Jalen Milroe, 4-year contract, $6.26 million rookie contract, and he's drafted late in the draft, like round 4. So he basically got the stock contract you expect to get. Another outcome from the NFL owners meeting: NFL players are now officially allowed to play in the 2028 Summer Olympics. Personally, I would not want to as an NFL player. You're going to go there and play against a bunch of dudes who are amateurs. You're going to obliterate them, which is what the United States wants. They want to obliterate them and show them that we're, superior, blah, blah, blah. But if you twist an ankle or rip a knee up or something, that's going to be a really stupid way to do it. If I was a real player in the NFL, I probably wouldn't do it. But, we'll see what happens. They'll probably get a lot of, practice squad guys, I guess, which probably be better than most of the world in football. Although we got beat, this kind of mentality, we got beat like the junior level by Canada and Japan. They beat us down in football, American football, because we picked a bunch of lamos and they had their best players and they ran good football and we were sloppy and unpleasant. I guess that's a good metaphor for the United States. We're kind of sloppy and unpleasant. Oh, okay, it worked out perfectly. All right, Washington Commanders, they have an interest in former LA Chargers running back J.K. Dobbins. They need a running back. They don't need a running back. They should have got Omari and Hampton, but they did because the LA Chargers got him first. So now they're like, well, if you're going to take our running back, we'll take yours. J.K. Dobbins, come on over. J.K. LA Rams and Atlanta Falcons, they're both interested in cornerback Jalen Ramsey from the Dolphins. So the Dolphins are like, you can have him as long as you pay it a price. $24 million this year. If you pay him, instead of us paying him, you got him. And they're both like, he just doesn't like the parking at the beach. Maybe he should stay with the Dolphins for $24 million. There's lots of parking issues in LA and Atlanta. That would be an upgrade for Jalen Ramsey. Cleveland Browns, Kenny Pickett. They have 5 quarterbacks right now. They're saying Kenny Pickett is going to get a chance to be quarterback 1 in Cleveland. I hope they all get a chance. Joe Flacco and Shadur Sanders and Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel and some other dude, whoever else they picked up. They should all get a chance. The Browns are horrible on offense. Deshaun Watson. Kenny Pickett's as good as anyone, I guess. Hopefully they completely stink on offense and the Bengals can beat them. That would be awesome. Okay, Las Vegas Raiders and Miami Dolphins, they both have interest in Philadelphia Eagles cornerback James Bradbury. The Dolphins are like, we want like anybody to replace Jalen Ramsey. Do you want him in a trade? Pay him $24 million. But they're trying to get someone to play cornerback for him because they don't want him in the building. Because all he does is complain about parking. Why is there so much parking issues at the South Beach? I want to go to the South Beach. They're like, Jalen Ramsey, you got to shut up. You got to shut up about the parking. We keep hearing you talk about parking, but we don't care. Everyone has a hard time parking at South Beach. And Jalen Ramsey's like, oh, we are all NFL people. No one cares. Get out of here. If you forget to pay him $24 million, you can have it. Well, we'll see. But they're like, James Bradbury, we'll pay you $2 million. And he's like, okay, for 1 year. Las Vegas Raiders, New Orleans Saints. They're showing interest in former Buffalo Bills wide receiver Amari Cooper. Okay. All right. In the CFL, lots of activity in the CFL. Getting ready for preseason games. Still a lot of roster movement. This is a crazy time of year for the CFL. A lot of roster movement. So BC Lions, they signed American quarterback Hank Bachmeier, American offensive lineman Jim Manning, American defensive back Tanner Moku. They released American offensive lineman Blaine Hoover, American wide receiver David Durden, American defensive back Miles Brooks, American running back Jason Huntley, and national offensive lineman Connor Clayson. So they're just trying to find a mix they like. They've already played a preseason game, so they should have a good idea. I guess that's why they're making so many moves. Calgary Stampeders. They added someone to the single-game injured list. It's national defensive back Kalen Sincere. S-T Saint C-Y-R. Saint Cyr? Maybe. I don't know. American wide receiver Dalen Baldwin has been signed by the Calgary Stampeders, who also played a preseason game against BC. They're not dumping their all roster. They didn't lose either, though. BC lost. Maybe that's why they're dumping their roster. Toronto Argonauts, they added from league suspension, so he must not show up to camp, global kicker Alfredo Gachuz Lazada. He finally showed up to camp. Yay! Boo, Toronto! Boo, Toronto. They're going to play the Ticats this weekend. Boo, Toronto. Stupid kicker. Ottawa Red Blacks, they signed American defensive lineman Deshaun Holt, American offensive line Eric Miller, and they released national defensive line Deontay Knight. Goodbye, Deontay. Good night, Deontay. I should have said that joke first. Okay. All right. Montreal US, they signed American defensive back Jay Sean Prophet. He must be able to see the future because he's a prophet. Or prophet. Prophet, maybe. I don't know. It's Prophet. Prophet. I can't tell. Okay, all right. Saskatchewan Roughriders signed American wide receiver Abdul Jane Jr. and they released American wide receiver Wayne Ruby. That's way easier to say. I wish they would have kept Wayne Ruby. That was easier to say than Abdul Jane Jr. But that wasn't that hard that time. I did a lot better the second time. Maybe I shouldn't judge myself so harshly. Yeah, don't be soft. Soft like the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. They're horrible. We think they're soft. Yeah, you established that earlier. You mentioned that. All right, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they added from league suspension American defensive line Brandon Wright. He must have finally showed up to camp. He's like, I'm here now. And they're like, okay. And they released American offensive line Braden Kime. Be kind to one another. All right. Next, in the UFL, we got to go into week 9. Week 9 playoff field's already set. XFL championship game, USFL championship game are already set. USFL championship game will be on ABC, 3 p.m. UFL. I don't know when this game's already. We'll talk about it later. This still got 2 weeks in the regular season. You know, stinks about it though. You got 2 weeks in the regular season and everything's already set. Right? You know who the home teams are. These games are irrelevant. And that's the second year in a row this has happened. So, I mean, that's a structural issue with the UFL. And it feels fixed. Arlington Renegades, they released defensive end Davion Nixon. Okay, goodbye, Davion. They signed nose tackle Gerard Clark and offensive tackle Spencer Rowland. They're out. Who cares? Birmingham Stallions released quarterback Ike Brown and they moved quarterback Madre Harper to the injury list. I guess why they released 2 cornerbacks yesterday too. I guess they got too many quarterbacks. It's got too many quarterbacks laying around today. Y'all got to get out of here. DC Defenders, they added a couple yesterday. Oh, we have to go look back yesterday's tape. Then they added 2. That's the ones they're cutting. That's why they added 2. Okay, it makes sense now. DC Defenders, they released free safety Josh Proctor. San Antonio Brahmas released defensive end Savion Patton, who was supposed to be all that, but he's just a bag of chips. St. Louis Battlehawks added to the injured list. Quarterback Chris Payton Jones and defensive tackle Isaiah May. Isaiah May be on the injured list. The offensive player of the week for week 8 was from the St. Louis Battlehawks, running back Jacob Sailors. He had a great game, went over 100 yards, helped power their win against the Birmingham Stallions, 29-28. Defensive player of the week, St. Louis Battlehawks, outside linebacker Travis Feeney. He had a good game, helping the St. Louis Battlehawks to a 1-point victory over the Birmingham Stallions. And a special teams player of the week for the Michigan Panthers was wide receiver Samson Nakua for his kick return. Beep. Okay, and then in the NAL, still some movements from the Columbus Lions. They're trying to make a push. I think they're going to be in the championship game against Omaha, and then we're going to get obliterated. They signed kicker Rice. They've been wrong before, though. They might upset them. I don't think so, but they might. They signed kicker Ryson Richardson, defensive back LeBaron Mallory, and they released defensive back Drico Statham. Offensive player of the week for NAL is a quarterback Andre Sale of Colorado Spartans, and for beating down the Idaho Horsemen. Defensive player of the week is Cornell Jones from Wheeling, which is pretty impressive. They beat the Sioux City Band. I didn't think they could do that. And then Special Teams Player of the Week from Colorado Spartans is kicker Luis Ferreira. So, I mean, that's a pretty good week for the NAL. They got 4 games this weekend. There's only 2 weeks left in the season, so we're making a push to the playoffs. The only race, really, that's a race, because in the National Conference, Omaha and Colorado are in. They're going to play each other in Omaha. And then in the American Conference, you got Beaumont, you got Columbus, but, they're 5-3, I think. But right behind them, they're 4-3, 5-3, something like that. And then Shreveport's 4-4 now because they got a forfeit victory from the Carolina Cobras. That's because they played Dallas instead. So I guess it's still a race there. Shreveport's got to get it together. Got to get some wins if you want to make the playoffs. Why would you make playoffs if you can't win anyway? I don't know. Columbus Line's probably a better matchup for Beaumont. And then I think they'll get obliterated by the Omaha Beef. But we'll see what happens next. Terrell will be back with more football news. It's almost, we may talk about some predictions for Friday night, but I think we'll do a prediction palooza on Friday evening. So we'll see before the IFL and UFL kickoff Friday night. So that's the plan. Check out footballanalysis1.com for some football articles and CFLnewsHub.com and UFL News Hub if you want to read that. And then if you like the video, like it. And if you enjoy the channel, subscribe. If you want to see something cool, let me know. Tyler, anything closing statements? Bengals are cool. Lions are soft. Soft lions. You're not a king of a jungle. You're a king of a trash bin. You're trash. Trash. Trash.